me want special treatment, so everybody has to learn a special language. But what that also creates is that you create an aristocracy that speaks a secret language that nobody else knows.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get going. Let's do this. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 246. Why we use Latinx, or
we don't.
However you
we don't.
However you pronounce, is it Latinx? I don't know.
Latinx.
All right. What the hell is fusion Spanish? Is that a thing?
Latinx?
It sounds like I'm going to buy a taco. It's like fusion taco. Like, I don't want a fusion taco. Give me a taco.
Ooh. I had, well, here in town we used to have what was it? It was an Asian Mexican fusion restaurant. So they had like, what was it? It was kind of like, basically it was an empanada in the shape of a spring roll.
Oh, that's weird.
And
taco sweet sour.
Yeah, they had kimchi tacos as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That might be cool.
Unfortunately they're no longer in business, but yeah.
Well, when I hear the term fusion Spanish, I'm like, fusing with what? Like stupidity? Like feminism? Like what are we fusing Spanish with here? I don't know.
The SJWs probably had an aneurysm and didn't know which way to complain about the cultural appropriation.
Oh. Okay, well, just so you guys know, this is going to be a very short Smudcast compared to our other Smudcast because it's only 3 minutes long. And that's good because you should be spending time with your family or recovering from Easter or whatever the hell you do on a Sunday long weekend. You know, take it easy. I know I already took a nap. I'm going to take another one because I'm just that lazy son of a gun. And it does that to me every time I eat and drink a lot. So anyway.
It's okay. A nap sounds great right now, especially with, looking at this video.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about numbers of how many people even use this.
Oh, wait. I'm being told Fusion is the name of the... Oh, you're right. Fusion is the channel. Oh, so this jerkbwad is claiming he's going to teach us Spanish and not actually teaching us words from Spain. He's teaching us or inventing a word and using it. Okay.
It's a neologism that isn't actually one. There are rules to make them, and these engineered words from the socialists, because this is Newspeak essentially.
According to this guy, it's colloquially used. It's not something that. Yeah, apparently this is not something that's being forced onto other people to well, actually we'll get to that part of the video. He'll bring up how apparently versions of Latinx were used in like AOL chat rooms and bullshit, so there was precedent for it. It's just now.
I bet he's just making that up because he had his free SJW friends on there and they were using it, and then so everyone's using it. And in the green room, I don't know if it was you or Gingaman, said that for Smut, I don't remember. My short-term memory is bonkers.
Don't worry.
That only a quarter of Latinos have ever heard of the term, and only 3% are using it.
And
whether that's 3% of all of Latinos or 3% of the quarter that's using it, I don't know. There's a graph. Okay, 3% of the whole. Okay, that's still no one.
Yeah, I think that's even, giving. I think that's actually giving Latinx credit, because I know absolutely no one that uses it outside of when we're talking about like academics trying to push this equal term onto others. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Zach's not here.
Oh no.
Oh, he's muted. Yeah, but that's even less. That's just 20% heard of it, and plus 3% who are using it. And I would guess that is just the amount of SJWs within the Latino demographic.
Yeah,
Because that
and
demographic itself is very small, like about 7% or something.
Test. Hello.
and this, hey Zach, and
Oh,
it really,
finally, I'm working.
it's really, I feel that this is a very Americanized concept because friends of mine who are actually from South America, hardly anyone has heard of it, let alone uses it. I don't know of anyone who actually uses it outside of those strange academic circles. And everyone I know from South America will just laugh in your face if you bring this stuff up because you're raised with the gendered language. Latino is all inclusive. It's inclusive of male and female.
Yes.
What is the purpose of having this Latinx, which doesn't roll off the tongue at all when you are speaking a Romance language, that X at the end, my God, it's like grating on your ears. Why would you torture us?
I like how the
we
plural.
barely use that letter.
I was on the Wikipedia. The plural is Latin XS, which is
Latinx.
No, Latinx.
The argument I've always heard is they don't want a gendered language because that doesn't conform to transgender standard. It's not respectful of transgender people, and it's not respectful of non-binary people.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And
my response is,
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, and so transgenders don't give a fuck. We don't want this language because, hey, if I'm transitioning, I want to transition to somewhere and not into a great blob.
I've spoken with them. Some of them want it, and it's such a
but they're
small
retarded.
Paper tiger minority.
Almost none of them.
They're fucking.
And the ones who want to be great
retarded.
blobs, they don't have gender dysphoria. They're confused. They're misdiagnosed, and they should get proper doctors. They have other issues.
Yeah,
and all the people who claim to be non-binary turn out to be attention whores with narcissism.
This is where I'm stealing a page from your book, Wisp. It's very much the whole Newspeak. If you don't have this language, if you don't use these words that we like, then you're a racist. It's like, all right.
It's excuses to harass people.
We do get comments on our videos we cover, and someone was non-binary in one of the comments and gave a big paragraph about, or a series of paragraphs of how, what it means to be non-binary. I was like, okay, that's fine.
So, if you know which one that was, link it to me. I occasionally check the comments, but just for a couple of days usually.
Okay. Yeah.
My whole thing is language is fluid, as in it does change as the centuries go on. But your social justice
naturally does, and
should
there's
not
rules to how that happens.
Yes,
right, and this is something we're talking about.
Let me make my point. My point is that your social justice shouldn't be dictating language. That is not going to help you in the long run. That is not going. All that does is just going to piss people off and turn them against you.
Yeah, because
that's the fight you're picking, and that is the hill you're dying on with this. Is just all you're doing is pissing people off. Whereas if you really want to be treated fairly and to be treated well in equal society, then look for that and not try to change the way people's languages work.
Now, yes, this is
thought process
oppression.
There are way better campaigns and way more fights to pick than this.
They don't care. They don't care about what's effective. They just want all their utopian nonsense, and that includes changing the language because they 100% believe that if you change the language, you change how people think. And that is the core of Newspeak. If you take the concepts, if you take away concepts from people, then they can't think them. They can't come up with them. And everything they do, this is artificial, and it goes against everything. How language naturally changes and evolves. When language naturally changes and evolves, it usually tends to become more precise.
Mm-hmm.
And what
German's a
what
great
is
example
this?
of that.
And you come up with a new what?
I said German is a great example of that. You have all kinds of different words and phrases for these concepts in the English language that we would have to go on like paragraphs to be able to describe, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's this word.
Oh no. English does this as well. It's just harder to notice because Germans are due to I think having compound words helps a lot with that.
Sure.
Because technically the English language works the same way, but you don't do this in the written language anymore. Some compound words left, like moonlight is a compound word. Sunshine is a compound word.
Like a big
And I don't know.
I thought you were going to sing the Sailor Moon song.
We have Zach in concert.
I don't have the Sailor Moon song, but I have JoJo.
You can also do Sinatra if you want. The point is,
JoJo.
the point is just that most languages do these. Sometimes when we have a lot of contact with other languages, and the English overlap is so big that we get a lot of Anglicisms in German now. The SJWs abuse this. They use a word that already exists in German, and then use the English term because and give it a different definition than the German term has. That it should be the same, like hate speech. We already have Hassrede in German, and it is defined legally now. But because that is already the case, the SJWs brought over hate speech into the German language, which should be the same word with the same definition, but they load it up with their bullshit crap. So they have it much easier to change people's thinking here, because they just use some stupid noises or instead of the word we already have, because so they don't need to fight a legal battle. Nobody can make the argument, oh, but that's already defined, because people first hear a different word and think, oh, that's not already defined. That's one part of the game they play. But the whole Newspeak thing is really they want to change the language so that people can't think. In North Korea, that works in a way where they have redefined love, for example. You can only have love for the dear leader. No, not for your family or your lover, only for the dear leader. Yeonmi Park talked about this. She fled from North Korea. It's absolutely heart-wrenching, and this is how far it can go. And they tried these things, and this is what 1984 is about, which is why you should really read that book. What this means with all of this gendered language stuff. So the non-binary thing was made up recently. And just because you claim you are something doesn't mean you are that thing. And just because there are now 2,000 people in California claiming to be a thing doesn't mean they are that. If you would research that, you would just notice, you wouldn't say, oh, there are 2,000 people claiming to be non-binary, so non-binary exists. No, that just means 2,000 people are claiming to be something. Let's find out if they are actually the thing that they claim, whether that is a real thing. Yeah, but there is no real basis. It's a fan fiction derived from the medical condition of transsexuals, the gender dysphoria.
And see, this is where you're running into an issue, because if you try, as soon as you start to say, no, that's not a thing, yep, you're already a Nazi.
Yeah,
and
I know.
The conversation is over, because you can't get any further than that.
Yeah, but I tell you what, these people are, to use their language, they're medically appropriating my condition and my suffering. They are the evil guys.
Yes,
and
because they are.
As much as I hate to use the language,
Mm-hmm.
that is more substantive. Yeah, go on.
Oh, it's just so easy to take a marginalized group and use them as a mouthpiece for your own agenda to try to morph society in whatever way you please. So it's just not surprising that this would be the next step for them to try to. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
and with us that is especially easy because we just want a quiet life. We don't want to be noticed. when I heard this. This trans day of visibility has existed for a couple of years, but it's only this time I really heard of it. That is a thing. I thought, what the fuck? Who came up with this crap? Because we don't want to be seen. We don't want anybody to know what we are, that we have this weird condition. We want people to just think of us as normal people, to not know that we have this stupid condition. That is the best outcome we can have if we do transition. And because that is only relevant to people that we spend our lives with and our doctors. Yeah, nobody who's crying, I'm trans, look at me! I call everyone who does that into doubt, because this is something an attention whore does.
Well,
cherish me for my disability. And don't fucking screw yourself.
Well,
you just reminded me.
I self-identify as a cancer patient. Give me chemotherapy.
That
you just
could
reminded
happen.
me of a friend of mine in the army that we'll call Schmloom for now. We'll call him Schmloom. So Schmloom was a new private in our unit, and after a few months went by, and then there were some rumors starting to going around about Schmloom, that Schmloom was gay and trans or a crossdresser or whatever. And I was like, wow,
that's
kind
a
of
lot
weird
of
rumor to go
things.
around. And I would talk to Schloom every day, and Schloom was pretty cool, pretty quiet, awkward, but otherwise, pretty cool person. And finally, I just asked him one day. I was like, "Hey, man, there's this. I don't know if you know this, but there's been these rumors going around. Like, you done all right? Or I know people have been talking shit or whatever." And Schloom goes, "Yeah, some people in the unit found my grinder." I'm like, "Ooh."
Oh no!
Ooh. And
that means they have grinder.
Yeah, my first question, I'm like, they told me this, and I was like, my first question was, how'd they find your grinder? But yeah, they started getting made fun of and bullied in the unit, and not having a great time because of it. And eventually, Schloom just owned up to it and was just like, "Yep, I'm trans. Do you have anything else you want to say about me or whatever?" And everybody just kind of let him go. And it only really ever comes up in conversation whenever it's relevant to the topic. Otherwise,
Right, because it shouldn't be a big deal.
Otherwise, Schloom doesn't really bring it up, and I treat Schloom the way I would treat anybody, other than calling them Schloom, because I'm sure they probably wouldn't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right.
But
it's about
that's how I know that case was real and not just attention seeking, because the only way I knew was because of rumors.
Let's get off the topic of people we know and their sexual exploits and back onto linguistics, shall we? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to
Schloom
get
is
to.
open gay. Okay.
Alrighty. Good for Schloom. I'm very happy for
Schloom.
I'd like to come out as the biggest of the gay right now. So
the biggest Schloom.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
However, I don't care. Let's keep going. Here's Latinx video. We've got 3 super chats to go through, and then we'll get started. Joe Crazy, good God, my fresh from the Border family. We'll have a few choice words for this weenie. Well, it's Easter. You gotta forgive your enemies and eat I don't know, ham, whatever you like.
Egged.
No, not ham. Wild boar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's what you eat for Easter. Wild boar.
3,000 years ago today, Jesus, PogChamp Christ, laid the golden egg that was the basis for the United States financial system.
Oh.
You're right. But I still wanted to explain the difference between language engineering and the natural development. The natural development is, as I said, that is precise. When you come up with a new word, a neologism, that fulfills several rules. One is it is needed, so you want to articulate something and you don't have the right word. Over time, that word is found or just comes into being. Secondly, people need to accept that word naturally, so it sticks. That's because the way the word is, so what the word is, and the way it and what it means, is incongruence. So when you say the word to someone who doesn't know the word, the person has a pretty good idea what you mean.
You need vocabulary assimilation.
For instance. Sure.
Yeah, and I always forget the third one. Fuck. But what the SJWs do is the opposite, and they justify the engineering, the artificial engineering, with but language changes over time. Yeah, but in that you can artificially change it.
Well, they would argue that it is necessary.
With the evolution of language, yes, it does happen over time, but it is, like you said, a very natural progression. So when we are looking at, say, prescriptive versus descriptive linguistics, so prescriptive linguistics does exist for a very good reason. It tells us exactly how language is structured versus the area of descriptive. We're, detailing how exactly the language is used. And this can be applied to, slang terms and African American vernacular. That's what we would call it when I was still in linguistics undergrad, and that's nice. Probably not the correct term anymore.
Didn't it used to be called Ebonics?
It did for a while.
And that was incredibly offensive.
Yes, so it's undergone several changes over the years, but so what this is, like you said, it's forced engineering of language, which does not work. We're trying. So
people don't adopt it. For one.
Exactly, because we are trying to, instead of adding in colloquial terms or instead of adding in slang, we're actually trying to change the language on a structural basis by excluding gender from the language.
Yeah, or redefining words in completely unintuitive ways in order to win a discourse, in order to win an argument. And this was very interesting. This is a great example when they redefined racism within their circles, that is, because when you ask a random person on the street, the person will still answer to the question of what is racism with, oh, that's prejudice against people who look different from you or something. So when you have prejudice against foreigners because of them being foreigners, things like that. Very simple thing, very simple answers. The belief that it is our plus prejudice, you will only find in the academic circles of the SJWs and the activists on the street. And well, those who get indoctrinated by it, and that is now not just in university but in schools, which is creepy because that is going to brainwash an entire generation with a completely misunderstanding of language. But what happened? The interesting part is that this is the part of where neologisms come in. The need for the concept of racism, what it is originally at its core, was so strong that the SJWs had to come up with a new word for it, which was colorism. They needed to fill that gap of prejudice against people based on their foreign looks. Looks different from yourself. And so they came up with a word that essentially means the normal definition of racism, because they had defined that away. That is in a way that is quite funny. And it essentially proves this engineering all completely nonsensical. They couldn't win an argument if they had just made up a new word for this prejudice plus power thing, because no one would have adopted it anyway, so they needed to do the sneaky thing, because anybody would have just called them out, this is just racist, you are the racists, which now people are slowly coming to terms with, that is actually the case. And the gendered thing, where they try to remove that from language, with the languages that have it, because it's relatively weak in the English language, which is why it's a great lingua franca. It's easy. English is super easy to learn. and in contrast to many of the other Roman languages. And German is one of the easier ones of them. But people always think, oh, but German is so hard because of all these declination and conjugation tables. Dude, Polish is way worse. Russian is way worse. Spanish is way worse.
It's hilarious that you say English is hard to learn, because the same people trying to change this shit would say that English is the hardest language in the world to learn. And I'm not even kidding.
Why?
No,
What's the argument for English being hard? English barely has any grammar.
Well,
Okay,
the
first
thing
of all,
is,
excuse
from
the
an
fuck out of
early
you.
age. Oh, coming after our language, Wisp. Goodness gracious.
No, really, it's not. That's what it makes it so easy to learn. You basically you don't declinate. You barely conjugate. You have just a couple dozen irregular verbs. You can learn those in a month. Children learn those in a month. And
yeah, the biggest challenge for English is our vast, our numerous synonyms, antonyms, the larger vocabulary.
There's sayings in English that are difficult. That don't make sense.
but that is a special thing, and that's actually a good example with these weird idioms and weird completely undecipherable terms, colloquials. For this would be an argument against the natural development of language, because those are completely obscure. You ask someone about the ball and chain, and the other person won't know what the fuck you mean. But it means the arrows on your clock, on your watch, and that is because this is a special, essentially a secret language that the workers in London developed in order to not have their bosses understand what they're talking about. So this is it's not a degeneration of language. It's a secret language that sipped over into colloquial use. That's why English has all these British English, that is, has all these really weird terms all around. But they're not actually needed when you talk internationally, when foreigners talk with foreigners, for example. When you talk with British people, yeah, you can run into some weird thing, then you ask, what do you mean? And you get an explanation, and that's it. But in class, we barely cover any of that, because it's not really necessary. It's not relevant for communication.
All right.
Yeah, you don't need as large of a vocabulary just for basic communication.
Let's get going here.
The only casus English has left is genitive. That is where you add an s at the end of a noun for possession.
Before you get too far into this, Wisp, I'm gonna stop you.
I just want to say, English is really simple. The other Roman languages, they're considerably harder, and they've been the SJWs have been doing this language engineering attempt with the German language for 30, 40, 50 years at this point. We got and they keep trying. They come up with things like Latinx in the German version, and it's just more and more annoying and more horrible. Like to engender both sexes of a word. They came up with, let's use a capital letter within the word to indicate that we mean both endings. Like we had the Latinos. We have the generic masculinum, which isn't that correct either grammatically. The correct term is you need to ask a German linguist for that. But that encompasses both sexes. But for professions, it's mainly only about professions, and they came up with we add a capital letter in the middle of the word, which looks stupid, and then use the feminine ending of the word. So you have the feminine word of the profession, but have a capital letter in the middle. And you're supposed to mean both with that. when you read that out loud, it sounds like we only mean the females. We only mean the women, which is just retarded and the other way around. And then they come up with other things like, oh, let us instead also add an asterisk before the capital I in the written word. So in our written words with an asterisk in the middle, or what do you call the double point? Called double point.
Umlaut.
You have a point above a point. I don't know the English word for that. Anyway, we have that now instead of the asterisk. It means the exact same thing, and it just goes on, and it's mainly the leftists using it. You find it in universities, and outside of that, people stay away from it. You find it in leftist newspapers or news sites, and nowhere else. People hate this stuff, and in part, and you can tell this by the legislation that's made. You can tell from which decade a law is by the way it's written, and by the way this language engineering has progressed.
Okay.
So the old ones is both male and female, and then you have that with 5 terms in one law, and it takes up about half the text of a law just to name the male and female all the time.
All right, let's keep
and
going.
it's just God.
Here's Joe Crazy again. Just imagine trying to use X with any of the other words in Spanish aside from just Latino. I think that's most any Greco-Roman language. They got don't use X too much unless you're referring to the Greeks. Then certain names would have it, certain rivers. So can't think of too many outside of that. Here's Alex Halo, who's gone. SJW, colonialism is bad unless we do it. Yeah, I don't know what exactly we'd call this. And they're right to say things about another person's language. Eric Wright, y'all should respect the drug cartel's pronouns. Oh. Okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. Taylor Ramirez, I think they consider colorism, a minority being racist against another minority, rather than the standard definition of racism. Colorism. What the heck is colorism?
I just talked about that. That is when they defined away racism into this power plus prejudice bullshit. This gap opened where they still needed the standard use, the standard word that racism means. So and that's how they came up with colorism.
So because racism is essentially neutral, they made up colorism, which is the negative connotation of racism.
No. Racism, because they redefined racism into not meaning prejudice against people because of how they look. They defined that into power plus prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
this
that
is
way
why,
they can't be
this
racist.
is how they define that white people are the only ones racist and no one else is, because white people have power and no one else has. And that's why no one can be
not
racist
the billion
against
Indians,
people.
not
That's
the
how they
billion
come up with
Chinese. They don't have power, just the whites.
Well, they probably will. They started redefining Asians as white supremacists, so they probably have power now. And so this gap opened where they have just the prejudice against how people look, and that's why they came up with colorism, because they defined away the word racism from its actual meaning, but they still needed something that expresses that meaning.
Right.
I'm sorry
so
if I failed to clearly explain that.
Someone, I saw a few people asking in the chat. I wonder what LD thinks of this video. LD's already commented many times on the Latinx thing. He fucking hates it and thinks it's stupid. So there you go.
All right. One more.
He's not the only one.
Bear Business 1. SJW Voice. Oh my God, saying English is easy is not respecting my truth and struggle to learn it. Please stop the English phobia from those worldly people. Okay.
That wasn't a very SJW voice.
No? I have no idea.
I appreciated it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it.
God, thing English is... Wait, no, hold on. I'm thinking the movie Bob voice.
Oh, boy. Why would you
Sharing
ever...
English is easy as not respecting my truth and struggle to learn it. Please stop this English phobia from these worldly people. Sorry, I'm out of breath.
I thought that was the Mr. Plinkett voice, but okay.
Oh, you're right. That is the Mr. Plinkett voice. I'm just always thinking of when Wolf makes fun of Movie Bob. That's the voice he uses.
Okay.
So it's become my voice for Movie Bob.
All right, we're at 35 minutes in. We haven't started the video. That's awesome. Let's
Yeah.
I just want just
New
for
record.
your information for Yulita.
No.
In the channel I posted an example so that you can have a guess what I meant with these inserted symbols into written language that makes it even worse than this Latinx stuff. That's what I do in German.
Lord. Ew. That's just very gross.
Yeah, and I
That's
use
how
it in
it-
writing everywhere. I get emails from leftist mailing lists where they write everything in this. And we kind of make when we cover articles of theirs in news streams, for example, and we read these texts, sometimes we just pronounce these asterisks or the other symbols they use hiccup. Because how am I supposed to pronounce this? How am I supposed to read this?
All right, 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Mr. Latin teacher, here we go.
Listen, we have to get our time somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought this would be quick.
Yes.
How dare you?
Hay dos niños en el retrato.
Here's some Spanish 101 that can be hard for people learning the language. Every noun has a gender. So, for
Oh.
example, a cookie in Spanish is feminine,
La galleta,
and a mango is masculine.
el mango.
Even the word Latino is masculine. But what happens when a person of Latin American descent doesn't identify as male or female? Well, there's Latinx.
And you need to...
No,
Well, they're
no.
sick.
type of Lat-
No, stop. Yeah, then that person is sick and needs a therapist because not even a transsexual identifies as not either. If you do not identify as either, and the problem is already this identify stuff because that's just role playing. When you don't know what you are, because when you have gender dysphoria, you know what you are, you know where you need to be. If you don't, then you just hate yourself, you don't like yourself, or there's nothing interesting about you. You come up with this persona that you come up with. It's like a role player who, a Dungeons and Dragons player who starts to identify with his character and then believes to be that character, and everybody has to respect that. And now you need to call me by my wood elf name, which is, by the way, the exact same thing that the other kin furries are doing.
I was just about to say I identify as otherkin.
Yeah, really, that is what it is. That is what it is. They identify
Excuse
as the
me, I identify as a
magical
fox. You need to
creatures they
respect
make up,
me.
and the
We don't
magical
respect
pronouns
them.
they
Nobody
use.
fucking respects the otherkin people. Why the fuck should I respect your
Well,
non-binary
I
shit?
have nothing against people using words they invent to communicate with each other, but to try to imbue it into the vocabulary of everyone else is a bit strange.
That
It's
is-
a
that
natural
is the
thing
point of
because they
contention,
need to
yes.
justify to themselves that what they're doing is real and not weird.
It's kind of
That
like
is
when
the
you're a
point
kid,
of contention.
and this is what kids do. I don't know if you, but we would make up our own languages and play around with vowels.
No, you're just weird.
That's weird. Okay.
You just play.
No,
You
you're
just
just
play
weird.
Power Rangers and Saber Rider.
Saber. Okay, I remember those songs. Yeah, I know the songs. I don't remember the actual shows.
I tried to invent my own language when I was a kid, but I had no friends to share it with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got bored very quickly. Let's just say that. So.
Yeah, I made my.
I
own
did learn
Orcish.
Elvish when I was in high school. I forgot it all by now.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
I made Orcish, but I
Tolkien
but I
fucking-
lost the sheet. It was on. I did that during Russian because I couldn't wrap my head around Russian. The teacher was so horrible. I couldn't think anymore. I'm serious. There was a mental blockade. I can read Russian, and if you give me some time, I can read it fluently again. But I can't fucking tell you what I'm reading. It's stuck, and I even had a what do you call this? Helper teacher, and she did Russian and math.
Tutor?
And tutor?
Yeah, that's a helper teacher.
Yeah,
helper,
we call it
helper
just
person.
Nachhilfe, which is after help. If you literally translate it. Yeah, and she was a Russian woman, and she really liked when I was reading Russian, because she said I was naturally pronouncing everything.
Oh,
naturally
sweet.
pronouncing things right and with the right emotion when I was reading a dialogue and something. And I told her, no idea what's on this page. Seriously. But apparently, somehow I picked up on the right vibes. I have no fucking clue. And
Fuck
that was
up
very
all
strange.
the way to success.
Yeah, but I the complete mental block. I couldn't learn a single new word in that language. And it made me feel like I couldn't learn anything.
All right.
But I could make up my own languages. I could learn other languages. It was just Russian.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what you're telling me is you find it difficult to speak Kami. Got it.
Well, when you got 4-letter B's, it's kind of difficult, or 3-letter B's, really. Yeah. Anyway.
What?
I thought all you did was just say sickles and hammers over and over again.
Oh, dear.
Hail Stalin, hail Stalin, hail Stalin. Ah, good day to you too.
All right. Evar Jantz, it's not just objects and people that use pronouns, but also concepts, like emotions have a gender in Spanish, so the whole X thing is a WTF.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's all nouns, and it's not just two. Most Roman languages have 3 sexes. Genus is the grammatical word term, I think. And I had this in elementary school. Why don't these people learn anything in school? What the fuck? And that is
American education system. There you go.
Yeah, and that is the masculinum, the femininum, and the neutrum, the neutral version. And the funny thing is, in German, the neutral is what we also use for children. Children are the word Kind is neutral. It refers to both sexes. Because and you can call it a boy or a girl in German, but
Wait, Kind?
But Kind, like children, child is neutral. Like in
like
English, probably if you had it gendered.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, that means children's garden or garden of children.
Well, kindergarten in
Garden full of
America
children.
is a grade, isn't it? It's like the first is like it's like you have preschool, then you have kindergarten, then you have first grade.
Yeah, we have
it was
kindergarten
actually
since age 3.
That's a neat little connection.
Yep. We stole the Germans' ideas. Good job.
I don't know, actually, the kindergarten was invented in Austria. Yeah, and
there's
guess
no
by
reason
whom?
for that to be funny to me, but it is.
I think there was a connection with a certain well-known Austrian, not Mr. Schwarzenegger.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it was to free up the women for the workforce, as well as early indoctrinated children. That is what kindergartens originally were.
I thought you were going to go with the other well-known Austrian.
I mean the other well-known Austrian. The one who is not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or do you know another one?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, and the red socialism added something else before the kindergarten. Kindergarten is 3 years old and up, and the East Germans or the red socialism added the kinder crib, I think you would translate it as. For that is from basically after birth or a couple of weeks after, and all the way up until you get into kindergarten. So you're just in the hands of completely strange people. Never and only your parents in the evening when they're both exhausted from work. So family bonds don't really develop. And that's a bit off topic, but yeah.
All right. The only famous Austrian I know is Mozart. Okay. Kyle Rocket.
All right, that's a good one.
No matter what they identify as, they can catch these hands, plain and simple. Okay. Kyle, thank you. All right. Let's go.
Latino or Latina. Latinx, pronounced Latinx, is a gender-neutral word to describe people of Latin American descent. People who use the word say it accomplishes...
Except it doesn't make any fucking sense, and it doesn't mesh with the rest of your fucking language, but alright.
And except no one but you and your 3 deranged friends who made it up use it.
Yes, this is a completely American concept as well.
Yeah.
I mean...
And this video exists solely to push the idea of it, because it's not naturally catching on. This word has been around for, I probably think, a decade.
Guy.
If people had wanted to use this, it would be everywhere at this point.
One thing I will praise about this video is that, well, 1, the editing seems alright, and 2, they actually went through the effort to get a Hispanic man to speak on the topic, to get, I guess, a sort of appeal to authority.
Zach, yeah. No, that is a Latinx man.
I said Hispanic, not Latino or Latina.
No, that is a Latinx. Get with the program.
I will find you.
Don't you mean
and
Spanish
what?
Smack
I mean, what do the Spanish think about this anyway?
A teddy bear. I'm gonna go
I think
with
it sucks.
Bear.
What do the Portuguese think about this?
I don't know.
Romanians think about this. What do the Italians think about this?
No, I just mean because Spanish and Portuguese are relatively
lots of
close to
hand
each
waving.
other. And that's basically what they're speaking.
Pizza de pasta.
Catalan and Gallego. I'd be curious about Gallego, how exactly that would work out. But anyway.
What does that word mean?
Pizza de pasta?
Gallego?
Yes.
It's so Gallego is it's another language that is spoken in northwestern Spain, in Galicia, and is it Cantabria or where? I can't remember. Don't sue me on my Spanish geography, but for sure Galicia.
I'm gonna sue you.
No,
Yep,
I'm broke. Joke's on you. But
that's fine. I'll just take your car.
Oh, dang it! Now I have to walk.
Rip.
But yeah, I'm curious exactly how other variants would handle this. Oh, awesome! Thank you. But yeah, especially well, I think in chat it was mentioned. So in Spanish, we do use sometimes we can use a gender neutral at the end. I'm curious how the Italian language would handle that, because in Italian, it's e and e are used as plurals. So let's see, if we have a cheese, that's formaggio. But then if we have more than one cheese, it's formaggi. So I'm curious how exactly we try to make
You had to come up with the most Italian example that you could. You just brought up cheese.
I love cheese. So sue me. I want some cheese right now, actually.
Smud, what cheese have you eaten today?
Oh, God. Pecorino, mozzarella, Parmigiano Reggiano, and what was the one in the lasagna? I can't remember. It was baked, so I couldn't pick it out. But
don't you usually have edama on your lasagna?
What?
No.
Smud, have I told you lately that I appreciate you and your cheese-loving ways?
Oh, thank you. But don't ask me about.
I'm jealous of your cheese consumption.
Well, everyone should be eating cheese. I don't care who you are, but if you're not alive, I guess that's fine. But
if you're not alive, I guess if you don't eat cheese, I guess you could just die.
There's
if you're undead.
Plenty of Italians who would rather choose death than not have pasta anymore. Like they will say that to their doctors. It's like, listen, I don't care what you say. I'm still eating pasta, and they will die the next day. They don't care. Anyway.
Now I need some pasta with some cheese on it.
Oh, God, yeah, it's that good. Mr. X, Mr. -X.
No!
There's a
He's found his-
sizable amount of Latin American SJWs pushing to use neutral words and or modified gendered words, and some of them are getting ground. That must sound like the funniest group of people.
No, it's actually scary because this is just 30 years behind of Germany.
Yeah, but can you imagine a bunch of really prissy Latin people? I'm going to use the Latinx. That's my num. I love that num. I'm like, okay, dude, can you just stop?
Just send all these people to therapy, please.
Why'd you go Italian?
Because
You said Latin and then you went Italian.
Because I have no idea how to do Latin. Anyway.
So does that mean the Hispanics are also the Latino are also losing their testosterone now? This wonderful, fiery people.
I wouldn't be surprised, but these are just stupid language terms. If it makes them feel good, I don't really care. But so long as they don't impose this on other people,
but that's why it goes. That's where it leads always. This is why they're pushing. They come up with it to push it. That's the intent. It wouldn't exist if they were just dabbling around in their little friend circle. The intent is to push this on everyone. This is why this propaganda video exists.
That's why dialects aren't a big deal, because everyone just uses them from where they came from, and they don't care if no one else knows it, because they all speak with their people they grew up with or their family.
I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
How you doing?
That's a natural
Get
thing.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's a natural thing. That's passive. That's irrelevant.
Like with the cheese example, like provolone. No one uses provolone. Like you can, but we just say provolone. We don't need to.
Well, what about a pizza pie?
We don't need to go through all the vowels. There's no need to do. We know what you're talking about.
Is pizza a pie?
Yeah.
It's actually a pie?
Yeah, it's called a pizza pie.
I thought that was just a saying. All right, cool.
Well, no, that's the Americanization of a pizza. It's the same idea. There is actual pies that you have cheese inside, of course. That's a French thing, but anyway.
Cheese.
Kyle Rocket. I joined late and can't identify the female voice.
That's me. That's me.
Okay,
you finally got your voice training.
Right.
Yeah, Yulita isn't actually here. I'm using a clone that has a voice changer at the same time.
Oh no.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really intense. It's really a lot of stress to play both these characters. At
I
the
want
same
like
time.
a female Batman voice. That'd be cool.
Where are they? Like this.
Where are the other drugs going?
Is this is what I... Where are the other drugs going? Ada.
Oh, you need to
sorry,
take a
that was
bunch of
anime
marbles
Batgirl.
into your
You guys know there is a Batwoman, right?
Isn't
Well,
she
Yulita-
also non-binary or something?
She's like,
You'll
isn't
appreciate
that
this
one-
comment. From
No, but that-
Kyle Rocket, am I the only one who finds this woman's voice somehow, ellipses, soothing?
What?
There you go. You have an
Yes, you're a
admirer in the
weirdo.
chat.
Ooh. Thank you. Yes.
On
I
behalf
am
of-
the big gay. I am...
On behalf of Hawk, who's not here, no.
You'd have a few things to say.
I am...
Oh, wait. Hold on. Where's my bonk button? There we go.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh.
All right.
I
Back on
get to
track.
go to horny jail now.
Back on track. Let's go.
Why?
3 things. It's feminist and combats machismo. It includes
What? Wait.
What did you just say?
How
Wait,
does
what?
it?
I'm sorry.
How
I
does
missed-
it combat machismo?
feminist and combats machismo. It includes
Ow.
people who
Wait, I thought machismo
Oh
was
no,
a good thing.
it combats machismo by emasculating all the men.
I
You
thought
take away the
machismo
masculinity
was
out
a
of the
good thing.
language
That's
and
like
all
a
the men
masculine
stop being men.
qualities.
They
He's got
become these
No,
grey
So,
feminine blobs.
I need to explain exactly what he means by this because culturally, machismo is seen as it's toxic masculinity is what it is now.
Oh, is it?
As.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
I thought it was always a good thing. He's got
not in
machismo. He's
Spanish.
got.
Not in
Okay.
Spanish. It's completely different. This is how we perceive it. It's the toxic culture of the patriarchy. Now, I'm not going to downplay some of it because there's oppression of women historically and abuse. However, you you don't see
That goes both ways.
Yes, it
It just
does
manifests
go both
differently.
ways. Well, and there's the stereotype of your mom throwing the chancla at you. So there's that too. But there's a lot of talk within, especially marginalized communities here within the U.S., like migrant farm worker communities, where women who work on these farms are sought out and abused. And okay, the reason why I'm bringing this up is...
call that machismo or toxic masculinity. I would just call that what it is. It's just
abuse.
Criminal because there is no enforcement of the law.
Well,
but look, the thing is, the SJWs define enforcement of the law as the patriarchy at the same time. So by their logic, there's no way to solve anything.
Yes, this has been used as a term to not just encompass cultural toxic masculinity, but the individual domestic abuse within the home, not pertaining necessarily to the children, but more directly to women. So this is more of the concept that this gentleman is referring to in this video. I just wanted to clarify that.
I'm pretty sure. And on that note, I what?
Sorry.
No, what's the joke?
Just dumb jokes in the chat. Eric Wright wrote, Why did the Mexican take his anti-anxiety medication for his panic attack?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
What do you call what do you call a Hispanic man living in Thailand? Taiwan.
Eric, you're my favorite now.
Yeah,
and then Eric just gives up. Eric just gives up because she can take my leche, know what I mean? And then a smirk face.
All right, let's keep going. Kyle Rocket. It fights machismo by promoting sexismo. Well, any word that has it's good for feminism. It's like, oh, really?
My ass, it is.
I can't wait to not use that word.
Yeah, but look, that pisses me off so much. They go on about toxic masculinity and yes, child abuse, if you will. But the fact of the matter is, and of course feminists don't talk about this. Barely anyone talks about this. I think even Karen Strawn sometimes talks about it, but she's probably one of the few people that ever do. 60% of all child abuse, and not just sexual, but all child abuse, is sourced by the mother alone. The other 40% sometimes include the mother, but 60% is just the mother. Nobody talks about that. Everybody just because of this one-sided narrative that the feminists, that the SJWs put out by demonizing men, is that mothers are angels and we should never take custody away from them, which just ends with children being with abusive psychotic mothers. That happens all the fucking time, and then they take a revenge. They just want custody to get back at them at their divorced men, and therefore abuse the children in order to hurt the feelings of the man who cares about the children. This happens every fucking day, and that really hurts. And these people, including with their language bullshit, they're perpetuating that. They're supporting that. And this way, they're hiding child abuse, and that way, they are supporting child abuse. They're not there to help anyone.
Oh wow!
It's just for their ultimate goal of making everyone a grey blob.
I don't know how true this is, or because I'm pulling up a few different sources, but I found this is a quote: "A whopping 40% of child victims were abused by their mothers acting alone. 40%.
I guess it depends a bit on the country. Yeah, 40% is high enough,
That's
and that's
still
just
significant.
the mother alone. That's the creepy part, because the other 60% are mixes. So that is mother alone, or mother and father, or someone further away in the family, like an uncle or something, or an aunt, or a teacher or something. But yeah, it's most child abuse is mother
dear
alone.
me.
And the source I had was from Statista.de. That is the German.
17.3% were abused by both parents.
Yeah, it's really scary how often the mother is and if you just take these two stats from your source that you have, that's 57% of child abuse includes the mother as the source. That is creepy. That's absolutely creepy. The source I had was Statista, which is the German Ministry for Statistics. They also do statistics about other countries, of course. And I think they use some from America at the time. It's sometimes hard. The horrible thing is, from the German Ministry for Statistics, it is easier to get statistics about other countries than for our own country. It's really annoying.
Good lord.
All right, let's get back on the language video here.
Thanks for checking, Zach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't identify male or female, and it embraces indigenous roots. And it's gay.
Really?
Embraces indigenous roots? What?
It does not.
How? It does the opposite.
How? Hold on.
It cuts the roots off.
Let him
By the way, Germany, we're
justify
indigenous
it.
to this area of the planet.
Hold on. I want to hear him justify it.
And it's gaining popularity amongst academics and activists and in newsrooms like ours here at Fusion.
Spoiler, he doesn't.
Oh, wait. This is the whole point.
Is he moving
academics?
Yes.
He said it's gaining popularity among academics and in newsrooms and activists. That is the only people who come up with it. And the people in the newsrooms are activists, indoctrinated in the academia. So it's just a bubble. It's really just a bubble. He basically admits that, but tries to frame it as people like using it when they don't.
Let's just imagine we drop the gender word. Like he gave the example of el mango. How about la mango or la manga or whatever? Like is that gonna benefit the language?
La manga is a sleeve.
Yeah. Do you know where these
It's a
come
completely
from?
different word.
Okay, so they can't actually change genders or use different gender terms without changing the entire word. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know where the genus comes from in our languages?
The what?
Genus is the genus, sexus, that stuff. It's a bit slight differences. The linguist has to explain that. I mean what you call gender in the language. Gender is not the right term. It's not the real scientific academic term in linguistics. But it's years ago that I sat in some linguistic lectures. So it's just a bit of stuff that's left plus what I learned in elementary school. But gender is not the term used. We use genus in Germany, and that is already a Latin word. Point being, this comes from originally you only had when you trace it all back, very 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 far back, like Old German. Nobody speaks that. Some people learn it for fun because it's fun to pronounce. But if you go really far back, you find that there is only the masculine. And then there is the neutral. And that the difference between the two originally was living things and non-living things, objects. So even animals were living things and not objects. Over time, of course, the use changes a bit. And later on, the feminine is added to the language as a bonus, as an extra to distinguish between the male and female. So originally, everything referred to all, that is why all male terms in our language also include women. And all the female terms only refer to women exclusively. So when you use the male term, it's actually neutral. There is no specifically male term. That is what people get wrong about the masculinum.
I have always wondered that about the English language and why my default, I guess, pronoun is him or he.
Yeah, because originally it wasn't man. Man means human.
Yeah, I've always thought of it like that. Man is neutral, like the race of men. Like
yeah, because originally it was wereman and withman, which is the male man and the female, the male human and the female human. And for the men, the were was simply dropped. So it's also the werewolf. It's the man wolf. This is a bit weird. I hope I'm not talking too much out of my ass right now. But for the female human, the prefix was kept. It changed a little. Like in English, you have the woman. In German, we had from Wifman came Wip, which later turned into Weib, which we use endearingly for a woman we passionately love, or that is very passionate, or for one that is more like a hag. That's a Weib. It's like that's a woman. And but you can use it derogatorily. But then I don't know where exactly it came from. It turned to Frau. But essentially, Weib is it's like instead of the man going instead of the with going away, the man goes away for the female word. So you have instead of wereman and withman, you have man and with. Kind of like that. But the female is an addition to the language to note that this is a female. This is special. This is not like everyone, because the females are important for the species. Always were, always will be.
All right. Wow, we're not even a minute past. Okay.
Hang on, how far into the Smudcast are we?
An hour
and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm leaving this open. One of the first steps in solidarity is to say, I accept you as you are, and I call you what you want to be called.
But we want to...
Okay, that is bullshit. Again, first, solidarity is something you will almost exclusively hear on the left. It is basically, if you look at leftist activism, they will always only use it as a rallying cry. When there's a problem, they come up with this. It's the standard German virtue signaling. I stand in solidarity with X. And it is basic. When you look at it, far away, it looks a lot like their nicer sounding version of fascism. Because you are always expected, when a leftist calls out, solidarity for this or that, you are expected to join. If you do not join in solidarity, you are the bad lefty, and you will be looked at with disdain. That's number one of this, and because I want people to be aware of what solidarity means when the left uses it, and it's almost exclusively the left that uses it. And the other thing is, I call you everything you want to be called. Call me Napoleon de Bonaparte. Because this is the territory we get into. We get into the Napoleon complex and Cleopatra complex. Where this is why people again start calling us gender dysphorics and transsexuals people who just believe they are things they are not. Because and initially people believed this was the same condition. Because there are some similarities in how it manifests. Someone claims to be something they're obviously not. Okay. We look deeper. Okay, there are differences. Now with the left going on into, people self-identify as this and that, and I respect everything of that, then you are just blind. You are forcing people to blindly endorse and support the psychosis of a psychotic patient, for example, which is not a good thing. It's like you're endorsing the hallucination someone's having. You shouldn't do that. But this is because they make no distinction. This is why this is so dangerous. It's not just lying about us; it's harming people, and this is how their delusions with all this non-binary stuff and the astral gender and swamp gender is all perpetuated. 3 seconds. Bloody hell. This is dense.
To know if people were using it on the street day to day.
Have you ever heard of the term Latinx?
Of what?
Latinx.
Latinas.
¿Ha oído de la palabra Latinx? Have you ever heard of the term Latinx?
Latinx, I have.
What does it mean?
It's an inclusion of everybody in the Latino community.
This was, I believe, the last one was
find
staged.
somebody that knows what it means.
He was put there. Come on, that was staged. I don't believe it for a second.
That was a very coherent answer too.
Yeah, and this use of community. Yeah, and the use of community is something that is catching on a bit because it's a little bit natural. You can the definition of that kind of overlaps with what I should say instead. But I detest this idea of racial or ethnic communities. That means you are a homogeneous group, and they call everything a community. They say the gamer community, the trans community, the deaf community, the Greek community. I'm sorry, most of that doesn't exist. There is no closed community. Like there's also no gay community. You have a gay scene, you have a demographic, and not everyone's on the same boat. I mean, in the gays, there is as much a schism as there is in this trans shit. Like, the SJWs build up this umbrella where everyone has to be under. They define what trans is, not we with the actual condition, because of whom this whole trans shit exists in the first place. No. They just took over the discourse and define everything under the sun that remotely does something odd with sexuality under trans. And yeah, we oppose that, but since we are so few and so few outspoken, they keep defining that. And the thing is with calling everything a community is you draw a line around everyone, you put circles around everyone, and you have all these little groups where there's no individuality. It's essentially building stereotypes because they then claim this community does these things, says these things, needs these things, like 100% of them. That is what I think is evil and controlling, and in a way tyrannical. It's Oedipal, all these fun words. And the worst thing is, this is what then leads to a divide and conquer scenario, because all these communities that they built, with all these walls around them, are then pitted against each other. The blacks against the Asians, the whatever against the whites, the cis against the trans, the pans against the gay lesbians and bisexuals. And it's horrible. So the word this video is full of news, and yeah, we should. Glib once said we should put a dictionary together that really pulls all this apart. And I'm keeping notes again because I started this I think 5 to 8 times in my life so far. Yeah. So we've had community, we've had. What other things did we? Oh, no, my memory is shit. I need caffeine. Where's the? Is there a way to summon the caffeine demon or something?
I'll go ahead and set up a drip for you. I need to practice intravenous caffeine anyway. So.
Ah, nice.
All right. Here's what is his name? Graffater. English-speaking Latinx enthusiasts would flip over the concept of grammatical cases in languages that have nouns, adjectives, and verbs gendered. Really? That's like pretty much every language we've got.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they're not studying linguistics. I don't know.
Oh, and Hebrew is especially fun because they don't. Hebrew doesn't just have a singular and a plural. It also has a dual, where a word means exactly two. So not one or many, but one, two, or many. So why? If you want to read Old Testament in Hebrew, there's a lot of that in there, and that gives a lot of different context into all of this mythological stuff in there. But different topic.
Anyway, let's go.
I talked to activists to find out where the word even came from. Latinx first showed up in academic and activist circles online.
Okay, he admitted it. Oh, the 1990s. It's 30 years. It's when around the time they started this shit in German.
Bullshit! I'm calling bullshit. Show me a source.
No. I believe him. I completely believe him. Because the 90s is where the same shit started in Germany, with this extreme doing weird shit, putting weird symbols into our language. You can pull up the screenshot on the Discord channel if you want. And he admits it comes from academic circles. That means it's engineered. It's not natural. Fucking asshole.
In the 1990s. And then it started to gain more popularity in 2014.
2014! That is when all this SJW stuff really, really popped up. I mean, it was festering for a while. We noticed in Germany there was the big surge began to start in 2009, but the real public impact started in around this time, around 2014. And then we got the Gamergate stuff and all of that, and it really kept rolling. So he basically admits it's made up, and the only traction it gets is through his activist bullshit friends.
Can anybody explain to me what the Gamergate or the Comicgate stuff was?
A pseudo game developer girl with mental issues slept around with a bunch of game journalists in quotation marks to get good reviews, and it came out. And so, in standard narcissistic Machiavellian fashion, gaslighting fashion, she and her friends jumped ahead of time, and because they had with all these journalist friends in quotation marks, to hide the fact of the corruption in that field of in quotation marks journalism. They put out the counter narrative instantly that gamers are toxic, gamers are evil, gamers are harassing this poor woman, and they're misogynists, that they don't want female game developers and all of that, and they pushed all of that, while in reality it was about this woman slept for good reviews of her complete bullshit of a game.
I'm so glad I missed all of this controversy. Like, it's so much that I've just I
don't know what's controversial about it.
There's so much that I've just missed, and I'm not I'm very grateful that I have.
Yeah, and
there's lots of bad movies out there that I've just missed. Like, I still haven't seen The Room. Although I'm sure I would ironically love The Room, because everybody loves to talk about how hilariously bad it is, so I'm sure I would love it. But there's just so much shit out there that I just have not experienced, and I'm more or less grateful.
Well, I recommend a European tour whenever you get the opportunity.
A European tour? Yeah. Was that a movie?
Ooh, no. I would love to go to Italy.
Oh.
Right now?
Oh, you're speaking of a literal European tour. I would love to well, actually, one of my goals in life is to retire to Italy.
Well, the houses are really cheap right now. $0. Actually, they'll give you money to go live there.
Oh. Well,
what?
Let me know in about 30 years or so.
From the sea.
Let me know in about 30 years, and we'll look at Germany.
And villages.
Are you still going to be telling me to work out every morning, Smud, in about 30 years?
Yeah, I will. You lazy bastard.
What? What do you mean? I've been working out.
I gotta walk. Oh, I can't walk. I'm too tired. Like, what?
What do you mean? I had one day where I was tired, and today was Easter. I went and ate some grandma's food, Grandma Reed's. Except Grandma Reed's doesn't season her food.
All right.
Grandma
Sounds
Reed's
awfully white.
Well, I mean, I saw a new family photo that was taken today that was hanging in the living room of Grandma Reed's house. And everybody is same color hair, same southern white skin, wearing the same clothes. It looks like a cult picture. And they're like, oh, yeah, look, that's a new family picture. I'm like, oh my god, that looks fucking terrifying.
Oh, no.
Like, I love you all, but oh my god, you're scary.
That's why
it's the
it's
the extended family.
Zach has to go marry a nice Latin girl. That's how it works.
No, I've already done that, and she threw a knife block at my head. You laugh, I'm not joking.
Oh, no, I believe it.
Well, I called her a bitch.
Oh, yeah, no, it's totally,
Probably not the
I
only
called her a
thing.
bitch, and it was after she cheated on me, so I was just like, you fucking
that happens all the time, Zach. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just surprised that it wasn't. I'm just surprised that it wasn't something heavier.
Well, it was a block full of knives. It was pretty
Yeah.
heavy. Put a hole in the wall. She threw it at my head, and I ducked, and it put a hole in the wall behind me. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
All right.
Slightly scary.
Mike Testa, Wisp, could you be my teacher? You would be great. Honor. What? Honor?
I think it means honor.
Hodor.
But that's a nice compliment.
Hodor?
Thank you. Although I don't know what I should teach you, what I should be teaching. I just know a bunch of random things.
Teach German history.
Oh.
Oh God.
Do it.
There's so much, and it's so weird, and there's so many weird phases in.
The fact that you know that there's a bunch of weird shit tells me that you need to be teaching German history.
There's people who can do that much better.
Yeah, well,
right, but you say that, but you could also entrance the entire Smudcast
history
and the Smud chat.
The tribal times during the Roman Empire is amazing. The Holy Roman Empire of German Nation is absolutely fucked up, brain fuck, and then you have all these smaller things, and then it slowly transitions into this Weimar bullshit, and then the rest,
Weimar.
Partially. German history is actually quite interesting. Oh, on that note, this is just a quick drop.
Pausing chat. We're pausing everything on this podcast. Off Nix. Pushing soundboard buttons does not count as working out. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, we don't know what they're doing behind their computers right now.
I went I did hill sprints the other day. Fuck you. When was the last time you did hill sprints, Off Nix?
Just while we're at this, because we're dealing here with propaganda and redefining language and lying to people about history. What they taught us in East Germany, and I was in school after the wall fell, was that we never learned about since the audience is mainly American, I would guess. They never taught us about the American Revolution. They never taught us about Cromwell. They never taught us about any of that. They taught us that, and several times, and it was super boring, so much that you eventually stopped to listen. But it was always the same teacher, so there was nothing new. That what brought us democracy in the Western world was the French Revolution.
Oh, I was going to say guns, but all right.
No. That what created democracy in the modern world. So we talk about Greece, and then we talk about the French Revolution. The French Revolution brought us democracy. That is what we were taught. Let that sink in. And we were taught that in the 90s and 2000s. No talk about the commune in Paris, the Paris Commune, because that would make socialism bad, wouldn't it? Yeah, but just think about that. That's how easily you can ruin a generation. Because I thought, as a kid, because I never looked this up, because in our history books there was nothing about the Americans. I thought that means that the American Revolution must have happened after the French. And it took me years to stumble upon documentaries about the American Revolution and all of that stuff and then at some point put together, wait, these years don't match up. So I just had an epiphany many years after I was out of school that, wait, the American Revolution was before the French. How does that work? I was taught the modern democracy is a result of the French Revolution. In reality, it's the other way around. The American Revolution inspired the French. But that's how easy you fuck up a generation of children.
Well, okay. Let's keep on going here. Almost 2 minutes.
Professor Wisp.
What?
But there were versions
Professor
popping
Wisp.
up in chat rooms over 20 years ago in the forms of Latino or Latina. Wait, how do you pronounce that? So this is
Nobody
why
uses
people are
that.
using
Wait, what?
Latinx
Wait, what?
Because you can use it in real-life conversations. Critics of the word Latinx say that it's a bastardization and bulldozing of the Spanish language.
Yes,
Because it is, you colonizer.
It is, and you do the fucking same shit in the German language. You are oppressive colonizers of other cultures. I call you by the words that you call other people because it actually fits you. Because you are projecting all the time with everything. Projection is one of the standard strategies of a narcissist and every Machiavellian, for that matter. Accuse everyone else of what you are doing. Because then they don't look at you doing the actual bad thing.
Argue that the term Latino is already neutral and inclusive. But for people like Ramiro Gonzalez,
Because it
it's
is.
more than that.
I
It
grew up
is.
with
Yeah, I think we explained that.
Was this the guy they just talked to?
Good question.
Probably not.
No,
No. It's a different guy. Different guy.
He has a very weird nose piercing.
What is that?
Well, he also has a very weird
Yeah,
cloak
it's-
that he's wearing.
Yeah,
So
he's probably gay.
That's definitely a septum piercing, but the bar is bent outward. That looks uncomfortable, actually.
Well, I wouldn't say it
It
looks
looks annoying to get
uncomfortable.
out.
I would just question why.
Well, like,
wait.
I would
No,
think-
if he shaves his beard, it looks like he's a tiny little French maitre d' mustache.
No, he turns it up when he's shaving. But honestly,
Well,
it looks really
but it's
annoying to get
wide.
out.
He's got
Well-
a little maitre d' mustache.
I mean, I was just thinking, with it sticking out like that, you could hook so many things accidentally on it. Just, like, well,
Boogers?
heck. Well, like, when you're showering, like the loofah, like a loofah, those things get hooked on piercings so easily.
You loofah your face?
Well, I mean, I used
No,
to because it's
other-
exfoliation.
I scrub it with a hot German little bathing towel. Waschlappen.
Yes.
We call it Waschlappen.
I have seen those loofahs get hooked onto the nipple piercings. I don't like. I have seen this happen.
Why?
And my heart
Why
stopped.
don't you pay attention?
My heart stopped. It wasn't even happening to me. My heart stopped. I'm like, oh god. Okay.
Why are people not paying attention to their fucking piercings?
It just. I don't know. Well, I was in the shower, so she was distracted. So.
and look, that is why in the military you don't wear any of that shit. And now they're telling
you can.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
but you shouldn't.
exceptions for you
Just-
too.
Oh yeah, they're adding exceptions
You
for
can't.
women.
So
to
in the United
just don
States, according to
everything they want now in
670-1,
the
you
US
cannot
military.
you cannot wear earrings. You can have the oh shit, what are they? They're not the hoops. They're just the dots. I keep saying my
Studs.
brain just there we go. Studs. You can have studs as long as they're not overly flashy or overly big. You can't have nose rings. You can't have lip rings. Any facial piercings. Anything that's concealed by your uniform. Obviously, nobody's gonna give a fuck.
Yeah, I would say studs would also be bad because they reflect light, which can make you be noticed.
Ginga died.
Oh,
No.
bye.
I was gonna ask Ginga Man if I could call him Jin.
He's
hey,
back.
Ginga Man, can I call you Jin?
Hey.
So that's a no then.
Anyway, this guy is a. Oh, you're back. Hello.
Yeah, I'm back. Discord was glitching up on me. I don't know why.
All right.
Because Discord is a hoe.
Here's
Discord on mobile is a hoe.
Here's Mariner1712. Happy Eggmas, boys. Boyos.
Eggmas.
Eggmas.
I said it before and I'll say it
Happy
again.
Eggmas.
3,000 years ago, the Lord Jesus PogChamp Christ laid the golden egg that was the basis for the early United States financial system.
I thought that was Joe Jesus.
No. Common
his
misconception.
bizarre
His full
adventure.
name was Jesus PogChamp Christ of Nazareth.
Joe
Ah,
Jesus
thank
PogChamp?
Huh?
Joe Jesus PogChamp? Come on. Add the Joe. You want to add the Joe.
The only Joe I know is
Shut up.
Giorno. Oh, my boy.
I fear I have to watch this after all.
Yes. Please
I mean,
watch JoJo's.
eh.
Everyone should.
It's just that
I haven't
the art
yet.
style is
Yolita, would you
putting me
like to
off.
hear my hot take? JoJo shit.
Yes.
Do it.
I love
It
it.
is wonderful garbage. I love it so
Oh yeah,
much.
it's
I'm not
wonderful.
going to-
I will agree that it's wonderful garbage. It is fun garbage, but my joy for the series died with Caesar.
Caesar. Oh God, I love
My
Really?
yeah, my
Tendency.
all of my joy for the show died with Caesar. Oh, and with Wamu. I did not even get to Cars. I did not even get to
Oh.
Cars and the bullshit that goes on with his fight.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. I encourage you to pick things back up because each
One day, we'll see. I'm watching
Yes.
Berserk right now.
I think there was an announcement today
Oh,
about
Berserk's
JoJo. What was it
great.
Stone Ocean, I think?
Yes,
Yeah, it
part
was
6.
leaked.
Yeah.
It was leaked apparently. That the next season is in the works.
Yes, I'm very excited for it because that means we're one step closer to part 7. And then I get to see my boy, Gyro Zeppeli, and he gets to sing his song about pizza mozzarella.
Oh,
He's the best Italian cowboy there is.
okay.
What?
So, yes.
Spaghetti Western are important. A cultural treasure.
Jesus
Spaghetti
fucking
Western is
Christ.
a cultural treasure.
See, I like my parents' house, but I also don't like my parents' house because it sits on top of a hill, and on both sides of the hill there are just S curves, and people love to take their crotch rockets for a fucking spin down these S curves. So
Ooh, fun.
yeah, so every 5 minutes you'll just hear and then followed by probably some glass breaking and a huge crash.
Oof.
Anyway,
Okay.
here is
Oh, it was an official teaser. Apparently, it wasn't. I was under the impression that it was leaked, but yeah, an official teaser has gone out for JoJo season 5.
Anyway, here's Mike Testa. Honor would very much enjoy learning the history. Oh, I guess he just wants to talk to Wisp. Wisp, go ahead. Reach out to
Okay,
Mike
but
Testa.
Okay, Mike. We can talk, but I'm really not a history buff. I am not. I was interested
Doesn't
in
matter,
history
you know
in
more
my
than
early
him.
childhood, and then school happened, and school destroyed every drive and interest about every topic that came up in school. Math just took longer. Math I loved the most, and
All right.
even destroyed.
So,
math.
Mariner, join the Discord. Say hello to Wisp. I'm sure I'll be happy to say hello. Okay.
Hello.
I
Mike Tester,
shower using a rock and acid rain. That is not true.
This is Mariner. I don't know what Judge Gingerman is referring to, but
hold on. Can you say that again, but in tune with? Go ahead.
I don't think that's what it's for.
That is what it's for.
Is it?
Yes.
It's the same song?
It could fit.
I guess. I don't think so.
I just wanted you to say it in time with the open.
Play it again.
I don't want the stream to get taken down.
Gaga, giga, bang. I can't do it.
Moving.
I don't know. Gaga? Is it Jaja? Is it Gaga? I don't know. Here's no. Jesus.
Turn it off.
Jesus. Anyway, here's Mariner 1712. Jesus is a Joestar and SPR, Joe Jolion continuity. Okay. Also, Feruz AI is Jolene. What the hell?
Yes.
What did I just read?
So the voice actor, her name is Farouz. So she's Japanese Egyptian.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is a weird combination.
I'd say so.
Isn't it? But like,
I mean,
her
it's
voice
cool.
for
It's
Jolene's very good.
I mean, that's a cool combination. It's very unexpected.
All right. Mariner 1712 again. Weak genetics didn't even make it through battle tendency. Oh.
Boo!
Battle tendency is fun.
Boo!
All right. Well, that's fine.
Caesar's the best.
Mariner 1712, Italian cowboy assassin.
Yes, my boy Gyro.
Yeah. Well, was it Golden Wind or what is it? Which one is it? I'm trying to remember.
Giorno.
Giorno? Yeah. He's technically.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Italian sounding name, at least.
Yeah, he definitely lives in Italy. And the rest of them are all Italian. He's somehow Dio's child, and his mom's Japanese.
I don't. Yeah, don't worry. It's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Testa, Stone Ocean better not be like part 1 anime-wise. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
I loved part 1. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Well, it's sort of, they forgot about all that stuff. What's Hamon again? I don't know. It's this thing.
Hamon?
Hamon? I like green eggs and hamon. So.
Yeah, we don't know anymore. Evar Gents, love you, Smud. Thank you for humoring all of us. I don't know what I did, but okay. Mariner 7012 again. It's for Seiju Sentai Gingaman. You fools, look up the opening. Oh, I don't know all these.
Yes.
References. What is the opening? We have to watch it after the stream just to see what the hell we're talking about.
Zach
I'll look it up and link it to you.
In online games. First of all, very contextual.
All right, we're back on track. We got this.
Okay.
Obviously,
yes,
very normally mentally healthy designer who's totally not gay.
Yeah, and it's what I wanted to talk.
He's wearing the gayest cloak I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and then maybe explain why he has
it.
the weirdest piercing of all. And this is I find this very telling, because among these SJW circles that promote all of this stuff, you have an extremely, unbelievably disproportional amount of homosexuals. And I don't mean this in a derogatory sense. The thing is that we have the amount of homosexuals in the general populace is under 5%. And I'm just being generous here by saying 5. And the people with gender dysphoria, that's some 0.3 to 0.1%. So that's basically no one. But among these people, you will find almost exclusively, especially in positions of power, of relevance, in activist organizers, in faculty chairs, and all of that. You will find.
Someone just put in the chat, dare to be different.
What? What did you say?
Someone just put in the chat, dare to be different.
I thought it was dare to be stupid.
I don't.
I mean, that's what SJWs do every day. They always dare to be stupid.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? Japanese Egyptian is such a weird combination, like Zach reads and workouts. It can happen, but highly unlikely. Fuck you!
Ooh. Ouch.
Zach does work out. He does work out. He just,
yeah, he's
I'm down 2 pounds, you fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
We'll give you hugs and get you a support circle and make sure
I'm back down to 183. Just need to lose like 7 more pounds, and I'm at my best weight.
Boom.
Yay!
Isn't that still over 90 kilograms?
Yeah, but foot.
But how tall are you?
6 foot.
6 foot. What's 6? This is a
meter. Wait,
180?
a meter is 3 feet, right?
So, yeah, it means you're about 180.
Yeah, so 2 meters. There you go.
What? No.
2 meters.
6 foot.
A meter is 3 feet, right?
6 foot is 180.
6 foot is one. Wait, what?
He's talking about he's talking about the height.
2 meters is 6.5.
Oh, 6 point.
That's really tall.
American education, people. Don't.
Yeah. Look, and 180 with over 90 kilograms. That's a bit heavy.
In centimeters. All right, we'll pull up in centimeters for height.
It's I think it's some 179 or something.
182.88 centimeters. There you go. 182.88 centimeters.
That's still heavy.
No, it's not. Fuck you.
What? Let's move on.
Alrighty.
I just wanted to say that I believe that the percentage of so many gays and similar groups being so extremely overproportionate in these SJW activist circles in academia is because they go for the vulnerable. And just like real trans people, the gays are vulnerable. They have problems. They have doubts about themselves. They struggle with themselves and their life. And that is essentially every cult always goes for vulnerable people in whatever way. They're just good vessels for this ideological bullshit because it gives them a feeling of belonging. It gives them a home, and so they do the work and they eat the gospel and they spread the gospel. And I find that really sinister.
All right, here's Mike Testa. Part 1 anime was mediocre. The manga's better. Okay, I haven't read the manga to part 1 though, so I don't know. But usually that's a fair assessment of any anime. And Marinara1712 again. Ferouz actually has loved JoJo since childhood. She read issues translated into Arabic from friends in Cairo. Hey, cool.
Oh, wow.
Hard to get.
That sounds out of this world because I can hardly believe that this stuff is translated into Arabic.
All right. Let's get back to Mr. Designer Fellow, who's obviously very talented.
Ramiro Gonzalez.
Ramiro. Support circles like planets have moons. I am offended, sir.
Anyway.
My grandma and my 4 sisters, so femininity was always something that was there, but that didn't necessarily fully apply to me. But also my dad and my brother's masculinity.
That's because you're gay. You're an effeminate, flamboyant gay.
This weird divider of like, there's only 2 options.
Ramiro isn't
You're
alone.
still a man.
6 out of 10 people, ages 14 to 30.
There are only 2 options. I'm special.
He really just said there's only 2 options. Real quick,
He's
how
just
many
an effeminate gay.
like-
That's still a man.
Real quick, how many biological sexes are there?
2.
Oh my God! There's only 2 options. Oh fuck!
Wait, aren't there, like attack helicopters and
Shut up.
swamp gender, and you have to be inclusive of everyone?
And tree gender.
Oh,
Yeah, look, this is a man who wants to dick. He's gay. He's not some weird gender. He's a man who wants to dick. That's all it is.
I need to
Not
increase the volume
something.
for
This
the
is
bomb.
not anything other than homosexual.
There we go.
My God.
Why you bullying
I think
me?
he's just not coming clear with himself. This is what many people go through, whether it's homosexuality or gender dysphoria. It's really hard to come to terms with. Oh, I'm this. I have this thing going on. I probably won't have a normal life. Oh, how will people see me? Oh, self-doubts. Oh, so everything is bad. I don't want to be like this. And from that on, within this, when they're stuck in this phase. And then some ideologues come on and tell you, oh, it's fine. Just stay stuck in that phase where you never know what you are and you just dislike your whole being. So never get anywhere.
forever.
Please never get anywhere so we can keep exploiting and using you.
Forward,
So
say that men do not need to conform to traditional gender roles or behaviors anymore. And over
Wait, what?
half of
No,
teens
what?
said that they knew someone.
How do we get?
No one.
How did this happen? How do we get from gender roles from language?
What?
Yeah, this is because they believe
that's
that
a separate conversation.
SJWs
No,
are
you
people
fuck.
with
That's
the
a separate
most
conversation.
rigid stereotypes, worse than any conservatives ever were about sexual stereotypes. SJWs believe in them way more. They say they fight against them, but in reality, believe in them the most. And they say,
no.
if
It's
you
not that they
are a
believe-
man,
it's
you
not
have to
that-
do these things. If you're a woman, you have to do these things. And if you
They
do,
want
if you
them
don't do
reversed,
the
Wisp.
things that a man has to do, then you must be something else. You must either be a woman or you must be some transcended weird blob.
They don't want equality, Wisp. They don't want to do away with these assigned gender roles. They just want them reversed.
Oh no, that's just what they're doing right now. They will go to the abolishment of everything later on. They just do this now to create chaos. This has phases. This whole thing has phases. People are not aware of that. This is a long game. Right now is the phase of deconstruction and confusion and chaos. When that is done and they are in their positions of power, then they will start to try do away with everything. Like in Maoist China, everyone was ordered to wear these jumpsuits, these gray jumpsuits that render the any sexual markers of everyone indistinct. That's why you sometimes see communists still wearing these things. The host of Democracy Now! Sometimes wears one. And I think, what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is in order to remove the distinctions and and thereby they believe the inequality between the sexes by removing any markers between them. They think we can only treat each other as equal humans if we are all exactly the same. That comes, and they will do this later when they have more control over society. Right now, they create this discord and confusion and chaos so that they gain vulnerable people. They create vulnerable people. They're not just fishing for them. They create them so that they can build their base, their voting flock, and the activist flying monkeys. When they have enough of that, then you have this is the idea of how communist revolution happens. They build up this mass of useful idiots. Then the big overturn, the revolution happens eventually. You have this whole change in power structure. The communists take power, and then they get rid of all the useful idiots. Because useful idiots are the ones who are most likely to rebel. And once you have taken power after the revolution, after the useful idiots swept you into power like a giant wave, you get rid of the useful idiots. Because they are the ones who could tear you down as well. We are in the phase where they're building their flock. where they're building their revolutionary, useful idiot mass.
I just remembered there's a craft brewery in Ontario called Flying Monkey, and they have the most psychedelic cans you've ever, and also pretty crazy titles for beers. But anyway, never mind.
Oh yeah. Otherwise, I was trying to use it in the way that that you find it in narcissist linguistics, lingo when you talk about narcissism.
Hmm?
Narcissists have something called flying monkeys. The narcissists aren't calling them that, but it's the people who refuse to see the evil doings and machinations of the narcissist against the abuse victim. And they keep seeing the person in a good light or try to minimize all the problems. And the flying monkey will go out to you, the abuse victim, the victim of the narcissistic abuse, and tell you, the narcissist is so revered by everyone and such a nice person. Can't you just make up again and apologize to your abuser? This is essentially what a flying monkey does. Comes out to you to try to get you back into the abuser's fold, but without realizing the person's doing that.
Okay, here is Gaius Natius Caesar. Hopefully I pronounced that right. The current trans movement is just the new anti-homosexual movement. Better trans than liking the same sex. What?
You're not wrong. You're pretty correct on that. Because they're at the point where they say gay people are transphobic for not liking trans men. So women who transition to men. And they say lesbians are transphobic for not taking the feminine trans dick. Because it's a feminine
this
penis.
This is why pansexual is now a thing, because apparently
because bisexual
now you have to, it's just the two genders that are cisgender, correct?
Because bisexual is enforcing the gender binary, or rather the sex binary. And that's why they came up with pansexual, which is the same thing as bisexual, just with virtue glitter on it.
Well, the way I always understood... Wait, hold on. Because the way I always understood pansexual was it's regardless of gender, you're more attracted to the personalities of people than anything else.
Yeah, that's one thing they say, but let's be honest. A bisexual could say the same thing, and someone who says, I'm more attracted to the sexuality of a person, not to the looks. That's something a mature person would say. Pansexuals are not mature. They're just saying these things to sound virtuous. It's the only people I know are immature, usually girls with narcissistic traits or an outright borderline personality disorder. It's girls without empathy. Girls who can't have proper relationships in the first place.
You're still speaking about pansexuals?
Yes.
I would disagree. I know quite a few pansexuals who are very mature. But that's more anecdotal than anything. But
yeah, but it's what also comes into play is that 90% of all women who claim to be bisexual never had a same-sex partner, and the same will be true for pansexual.
Also gonna disagree with you there. Again,
it's a question of sample size. In you can be in the one circle right. where you have maybe only 70% or maybe even more.
You are correct. It is a sample size thing on my part, but I certainly wouldn't go with the general statement of this, that these are pansexuals or this is what pansexuals are like. I don't know.
All right, here's wildly off topic, but Wild Tanuki, Flying Monkey makes good beer. Thanks. Okay.
You're the one who went off topic, Smud. Don't you get on him for going off topic.
I just remembered it.
Tanuki, go and just give me your meat.
You're the one who went on about your...
Excuse me?
I didn't.
He is posting meat pictures in the Discord.
What?
And yes, he's cooking. So I mean, yeah.
Meat? Oh, okay. Pictures of his food. Okay.
Yes, he's making carnitas.
Carnita.
Well, there you have it. Yulita wants person's meat. I don't know who that was.
All right, let's finish off this video and get some beer going.
I would like some.
By gender pronouns such as they, them, or they.
Language is
They.
alive, and that is what's so very cool about it. Language belongs to the.
That's all the made up bullshit. This is the non-binary SJW magic language that no sane person uses that. And some teenagers are just adopting it because they don't know what the fuck's going on, and they're taught this is good stuff, and here you can feel special with this, and this is virtuous to do it like this, and they're taught by their teachers that this is how language works when it doesn't.
People who use language is what makes us human.
But whether people will use it more regularly, it's still up in the air, regardless of whether the use of Latinx becomes widespread.
Yeah,
the
because
fact
you're
that it
forcing
exists
this
is
on
making
people.
a difference already.
To know that now there's this term, Latinx, and it might not be perfect, it might not be for everyone, but knowing that there's words to describe us rather than to erase us is very
Nice
powerful.
grammar. Wait,
Erase?
Who's erasing you?
Who's erasing? To erase something or someone is something active.
I was gonna make fun of his
one
grammar,
was
then he said something
erasing you.
retarded. Oh my goodness!
Every fucking sentence
Nobody's erasing you.
in this whole fucking video is bullshit. It's lies. It's propaganda, and it's this. This is dense. This is why this took so long. It takes 5 minutes, or in this case 3 minutes, to make everything shit by
every bullshit
spraying
claim
around
under the sun.
with a hose manure hose thingy. Like spraying everything with horse manure with a hose. Yeah, that takes 3 minutes, and to clean all of that up. To explain all of that, to take all of that apart and clean all that horse manure up, takes 2 or 3 hours. That is what's so horrible about lies. We have a saying in German, there's probably an English expression as well, that the lie has run around the world 3 times before the truth even has the second leg in the pants.
I like that.
All right. Well, we got one more video to watch, and that was just on the idea of we had no idea what the song I was singing was supposed to be. So let's just.
Yeah, I shared it in the chat.
Okay.
From when was this video anyway?
I don't.
Shout Factory.
What's going on?
No, it's like it's nature themed.
Okay.
So they had a ranch. It's filling a ranch. Get some horses going. Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, I got to pet a horse
Awesome.
today. I was really happy about it.
Nice.
I only ever saw the first 2 seasons of Power Rangers, I think.
You missed out on a lot.
I was driving past some horses. I pulled over. I fed them. It pet them. It was nice.
You know what?
Anyway, that was my day.
To catch, you know what I got to catch at work the other day?
An eagle.
A pig.
COVID.
Oh.
A pig. Well, yes, I did catch COVID here. Now it's been 2 months. But yeah, one of our students let a pig out, and so she couldn't apprehend it, and I had to step in and wrangle a pot-bellied pig.
Well, there you go.
Did you win?
Fun. Yes, I did. I showed that. I showed that pig who was boss. Oh my god, I forgot how loud they are. Jesus.
So what you're saying is you're having bacon tomorrow for breakfast, right?
Ooh. If I ate pork, I would.
Well, I definitely had pork today, so you know.
I can no longer trust you.
Oh no.
It's kind of a daily thing for me,
But
but
I am
it's
curious.
Easter, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to have your Easter ham, right?
Well, there's
Easter ham.
there's
There's no
prosciutto,
such thing as Easter ham.
there's kolbasa, there's cured ham. There's all kinds, but pork products of some kind for sure. Yeah.
You either eat bunnies or a wild boar.
Oh my god.
A roasted wild boar.
That sounds okay.
Yeah. Yeah, with a big fatty crust on it. And self-baked bread and some Bärlauch butter and self-made fresh sauerkraut, which is sweet, by the way. When sauerkraut is fresh, it's sweet.
Yes, I would agree.
Only when it ages, then it gets sour.
Yeah. You usually have to wash it if it's too strong. I like it strong.
Oh, that's why it's so sauerkraut. That's why.
I hate old sauerkraut, but fresh sauerkraut, the sweet stuff. Oh, that's
I find the acid's a bit too strong on my teeth. That's why I prefer to buy the canned versions, just because it's not as strong. But you wash it if it's too much.
The canned is usually sour.
Yeah, exactly. So you keep it that way. But yeah, sauerkraut and sausages, one of my favorite meals ever with beer. Oh, that's all I need. Fantastic.
I only have one Guinness left in my fridge.
Oh, that's nice. Guinness is great. I don't have
but
any
it's
beer.
Waiting there for it's like the last. It's the only beer I have left for about a year, and it's like this last health potion. Even when you face the last boss and it's a really hard fight, you never drink that last health potion because you might need it.
So this is basically Power Rangers.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Power Rangers had different themes in every season.
Oh yeah. Cool. Oh boy, we have more super chats.
That's cool.
Oh no, Mike Testa. If anything, they're erasing themselves. Yeah. Well, that's back to the topic, but I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah. What they're basically erasing, if you want to use that word, is the ability to ever get anywhere and figure out who and what they truly are. This is what I was talking about earlier. Is they keep people stuck perpetually in this state of confusion. Like even 5 years ago, I talked with at hacker conferences, for example. And this SJW stuff was getting really strong back then, and now it's essentially taken over the hacker scene completely. I talked with people who had real gender dysphoria, and you can tell they are in pain. They are in psychological pain. They are severely depressed, usually because they're exhausted from the constant psychological stress. And the transgenders, the ones who don't have gender dysphoria, they're always happy. They're having fun. They're expressing their fetishes and going on about it all the fucking time. And what they essentially did was they confused a lot of real gender dysphorics, of which there are not a lot. I personally, I would even say that the transgenders, the fakers, outnumber us by 10-1, if not even more, maybe even 100-1. I don't know, but it's really extreme. And what they do to the real gender dysphorics is that they tell them about all this non-binary stuff and these weird gender things, and the real gender dysphorics then do not figure out what they actually are and what would be good for them. So they stay in this intermediate state where they then just socially transition, but they still have the gender dysphoria wrecking them from inside, and they're stuck. And they're not getting real help. They're not seeking therapists because they're told, this is all malarkey. You just identify yourself as what you want, and then they keep on suffering. They're not that. So they are essentially publicly cross-dressing and everything, which some are also are quite embarrassed by, because in contrast to many of the SJWs, they are actually able to reflect on themselves and what it ends up as is that they are not dealing with, while they have the courage to do something, they do not go in the right direction to solve it. When you decide to transition, then fucking do it. But when you're of age. But don't want to, but you have gender dysphoria and you just do these half-assed things, you're not getting rid of any of the real problem. And the SJWs, they're just confusing people into this half-assed state of stuff that solves nothing. And that keeps them miserable, and that keeps them vulnerable. And that keeps them exploitable. And that breaks my heart. Because either you try the normal life thing where you find a if you are bisexual, for example, you find a woman, you marry her, you have awesome children. That is if you love her and don't pull off this shit of I'm gonna use a woman to get children like some gay people do. That I find really despicable. So you either do that because the love can balance out the gender dysphoria, the stress, the pain you have inside. Doesn't make it go away, but it can balance it out. Or you do the transition, and the hormone therapy is then what reduces most of the gender dysphoria. Everything else is a bonus.
Here is Tyler Preston. Check out the Metal Heroes franchise. Is that another Sentai, I'm assuming? I don't know.
For that same company, yeah. It's another tokusatsu.
Okay. All right. And Joe Crazy, let's check out the American counterpart, Lost Galaxy, next. Isn't that Power Rangers?
Yeah, that's Power Rangers.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, okay.
It's the American counterpart of the one we just saw.
Okay.
Oh, it's not the original Power Rangers, then something else.
No, the American
it's a later season.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
The American Power Rangers, they use the Japanese fight scenes and everything, but the stuff in between with when they don't have the costumes on, that's changed.
No, sometimes they do use some of the stuff in between and adapt it for the American audience.
What just happened?
Bloody stream happened.
Okay, well, I don't want to get taken down, so that's beautiful. But
what just happened?
I don't know. Looks like season 2. What is that?
JoJo invaded the stream.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, I think we're. Oh, Zach, yeah, nice.
No, it was me, but I didn't it didn't even load for me, so I was just like, all right, waiting to pause it. And then you guys started freaking out.
Anyway, yeah. Good times. What else we got going? I think we're done. We're done for the evening. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And for people who've been here regularly, you probably have heard some of my speeches a couple times now. Sorry if I repeat myself, but these things need to be cleared up, and the more people hear it, the better.
Well,
and I get lost in autistic rants anyway.
The dumbass arguments are made, the more time
the
defense needs to be said.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on this Easter. I know you're probably busy with your family, or you're taking a break from your family, or you have no family, whatever the case may be. Thanks for popping in. It's always nice. And randomly talking about cheese and beer and Sentai and words. It's always fun.
And weird crabs.
Crabs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, weird crabs.
Crab people.
Yeah, weird. Oh, crab people. Taste like crab, talk like people.
Crab
people.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Hand it over, crabs!
Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you real soon. Have yourself a great evening. Bye-bye now.